Live. Let's get it. In honor of all the Man City players who have just had children or are expecting, I bring you this cold open question. If you were to name your child after a Manchester City player, past or present, what would you name your child? And when I thought of this question, I had multiple answers. You could go like gender vague and like Alex. So like there's Alex Williams, the Black Man City keeper, or Alec Greenwood. And then the obvious one is Vincent, a nice strong name. Uh, could I name my daughter Yui? Like, is that like Culture Vulture? You know, is that like sketch? I don't know. Let me know, listeners. And just putting it out there, feelers. Would love a Caribbean island bay, so I can name my daughter Khadijah. So you know, if you're out there listening and you like the name Khadijah, DM me. Being wild. Let's get into it.
Man said DMs are open.
Listen. I'm old enough to remember when we were living single in a '90s kind of world.
I was gonna say,
like, and I'm pretty sure that Khadijah James was not did not have Caribbean heritage. I'll put it that way.
Black American.
So I say all you need, you just call it whatever you want to. You don't need no special.
Hey, can I just try to get myself
No
a Caribbean island?
Okay, that was Chrome actually what you wanted. Chrome was like,
You know what?
This right here. He was manifesting.
And that's what I was about to say. I was gonna say I ain't gonna interfere on your attempt to get you an island bay. Do you? You don't need one for the name, but get you one if you want one.
Wow. Support me fully, not partial.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you, man. Go ahead, do you.
Well, I mean, Tarek, you already obviously have handled things.
And you know what? There is absolutely no way under God's heaven that I'm going to have any more. So this is strictly, this is strictly a thought exercise for me because I them days is over.
Been done. Man said I'm out of the loop.
Look, I got one in college. Ain't having no more. Bro.
2 more in a way, man. Oof. Can I go real quick? I got one.
Please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to combine. This is a boy name. I want to combine our races. I believe in bringing everybody together. So I want a nice, strong name. I'm gonna go Philip Nathan or Phil Foden, Nathan Ake.
I like that.
Thinking of girls, but that's the first boy. 2 of my favorites that came together. Solid.
Okay, so I got a boy name and a girl name. Girl name, Khadijah Houghton.
Oh, that's
yeah. My boy name is going to be Aguero Philip.
Philip getting a lot of love. Shout out to him.
I mean, hey, I mean, like he's one of our own. So like, damn it, like.
Damn right. I got a girl real quick. I'm gonna take it back. Former City player for the women. I'm gonna in a current City player. I'm gonna go Rose Mary. See what I did there?
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Shout out to her. I miss her.
That's funny because her name actually is Rosemary.
Mm-hmm. It works both ways. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I play with her on FC25, so she is.
Shout out to my heart right now. Parents for calling her Rosemary. Like what kind of stuff?
They knew that.
Oh, that is a strong Catholic name. That's
I was gonna say. I grew up with a Rosemary.
Bees is out here. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I only have girls, man. It's hard for me to even imagine having a boy. But my twins, they both their names start with the letter K. So it would be perfect for Kiara to join and be the third.
Love
so
that.
We'll go with Kiara.
Love that.
Yeah, I don't know about on the men's side. It's going to take me a minute.
Kevin,
I grew up with a Rico when I was a kid. down, like 3 houses down. I grew up with a Rico. He was actually, we were really cool. We were like best friends when I was really little, before like the whole army thing happened for my dad. So I'm gonna go with Rico. Let's do Rico in honor of my friend.
That.
It's a nice little thought exercise. We making our
great.
Capitalize that A.
I hate the most is when you do wonderful. I hate. You have permission to make a mistake. You have permission to lose. You have permission.
And that's when we get big.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
Attack everyone and send everyone.
I think we're forgetting the most important thing. We're forgetting about focusing just on ourselves.
But we can do better. We need to take the next step, and there's no better place than taking the next step here.
Show ourselves out there how much we want to win it again.
We win 4 of the last 5 Premier League, guys. 4 of the last 5 Premier League. Are we gonna do it again?
Don't ask me again about doubles, triples, quadruples, fifth-tuples, six-tuples, and seven-tuples. So,
Hey, and welcome to episode 112 of Shades of Blue. Goodness gracious, I'm on top seat. Every 112 is throwing
world's famous.
Looking at me, I can tell from your eyes that you're feeling me, and I really want you to get
I
close
love
to
you,
me.
Tom.
Would you dance with me.
I love you. That's only the first thing in my mind. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry. That one, but then also Peaches and Cream came to mind.
That's a good one.
Another classic. As Crump was manifesting things, I'm manifesting too. You know, who doesn't want some?
Hey.
What a dessert. What a dessert, you know?
Oh, we are the most comprehensive show about Manchester City, covering both the men's and women's game, spanning both sides of the Mason-Dixon line. We making art over here, capitalize the A. I am Crunk Chocolate, and I'm here with the show bros, Taylor Sharpie Charlie and Tom Bomb. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How's it going?
You know, this past 5 days has been a lot. It's been a lot in a good way. Some of it's been just a lot to take in and a lot to process, and it'll be good. This will be a good sounding board to process all of those things that have happened over the last 5 days.
We are here for you, friend.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day here in the United States to all our indigenous people who were the first people here, not the Europeans that came and colonized. And we don't celebrate that terrorist that came over with the 2 names that start with C. See, I won't say his name. I can say arson, but I won't say his name. Yeah, it's been a beautiful holiday. Excited to talk to the homies.
Oh my goodness. Before we get into anything else, what I need you to do right now, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, show some love, leave a comment on what you thought on the episode, maybe a retort to something one of us said. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, any of those podcasts, streaming services other than the ones I named, that allows you to rate and review, please do that. 5-star rating, say some nice words in a review. It helps push us in front of other footy fans, Manchester City fans, women's football fans, just all of the like-minded, amazing individuals. Let's just build in this shady gang. You know, there's never too many people. An amazing slate of shows for you this week. Tomorrow, when you're listening, possibly today, Tuesday, October 15th, at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have the homie Tosin McKinday, member of Shirtless Plantain Show. Truly a wonderful person to talk football with if you get the chance. So, you know, most of you don't. So that's why you're going to tap in with us on Tuesday. Wednesday, Joshua Buckley of Whole Lot of Wolves podcast will be joining us on Breaking Bread, our match preview series. We will be talking Manchester City versus Wolverhampton. That begins at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday night, like we do every Thursday night, is our lit stream, where we bring on 3 most dope guests, one at a time, to talk different football topics that just fit each guest. Is just a way for us to flex our our football knowledge, banter, ability, just our welcoming attitudes, and just overall have a good, relaxed time with some pals. Kate Tixalar, Roberto Rojas, and Kevincho will be joining us. I'm super excited about Kevincho because that little demon has done a little pivot, and I'm super excited to talk to him about that pivot. And then Friday at 3 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. British summertime, I will be joined by Part of the Pride podcast for Breaking Bread, our match preview series. We'll be talking Manchester City women versus Aston Villa women. And then Sunday, right after the Manchester City women Aston Villa match, because that is at 6:15 a.m. Central. Yeesh. Tom, I bet you're happy you're back in Central time zone.
Bruh, that 1 hour is just making a whole lot of difference right now.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine. And so yeah, join us for that conversation. And then Sunday we'll be there 8 a.m. Central, 2 p.m. British summertime to be talking about the kickoff show for Manchester City men versus Wolves. So many things this week. Woo! All right. So this week, obviously, we're going to focus. We're going to get stuck in with these baby blue baddies. No men. They're coming up like 5 days away. So like we'll get to them at the end. But our baby blue baddies, they handled business last week. Oh my gosh. Clean sheet victory against Barca. Then a come from behind win against Liverpool. There's some craziness and drama with that. And so, we're going to have some fun, dive into all that. Matches this week. They're back to 2 games while the men just got 1 going on. The women are like, huh? While y'all been playing fun national football, we're over here representing the club, holding things down, actually getting all 3 points. I don't know if you guys know about that,
And getting clean sheets.
And clean sheets, huh? Oh, man. While we at it, let's get it. Tom Bomb. What are those baby blue baddies doing to them? But I do have a few random clips that I wanted to play. There are 2 before we talk about the Barca match, and then I have Bunny post Barca.
All right. Well, I mean, that'll give us plenty of time. We got to get in Saucy Santana. We got to get in the dude that Jatavia scammed. I would say that other dude, but he's going through a lot of stuff right now. But yeah, we because City Girls, for real, just we up. How about that? City Girls up by 1,000.
Wow. It's so actually I want to get into it with this because this first off, it's Gareth's general thoughts on having to face Barcelona.
The cream always rises to the top, and I don't think you're going to get every single player on both teams having a storming game tomorrow. That's what we'd like, of course. We want to see the best players on the best stage, and I think this is what it is, and ultimately expecting everyone to be actually having amazing performances, and hopefully we get a few more on our side than we do on the opposition. But yeah, for us, it's just about controlling what we do. We know we're coming up against a good opponent who's very good in the attacking phase, but also we feel that there's areas on the pitch within their team that we can really exploit.
This is one of, if not the most glamorous tie of all the group stages, or group stage. How many knocks on the door have you had from players this week when he talked to you about selection?
Yeah, I think, of course, everyone wants to play in this game. I'm pretty. Jess Parker come back into the.
Yeah, sorry, that went all off the place. But what I have liked this year with Gareth as opposed to last year, and he still does it. He gives plenty of respect to the other team, but now he actually bigs up his own team. He wasn't like also bigging up his team last year. He would just give the other people respect. He was real timid. And now he's at least like, hey, they got holes. Hey, also think about us. And with his growth, which I'm giving it to him, it's just because I wanted to see it. So I really like that. And then the other thing is he was asked if facing Barca makes things easier because they have been in the finals for the last 5 of the 6 years. This is the first time back in the Champions League in 3 years. Like, what are the expectations?
I would say, yeah, they're the best team in the world. Certainly over this period of last 4 or 5 years. I think before that, you would say it was Lyon. Certainly what they were doing domestically and obviously on the Champions League stage as well. And Barcelona have really dominated in this last 3 or 4 year period. So yeah, of course, I think they are. But I think that in terms of taking the pressure off us, no, not at all. I think it's pressure is so hard to quantify how you feel it or how you let it affect you. Because sometimes it can do, there's no doubt about that. But we certainly don't feel like we've got a free hit tomorrow. We feel we've worked tremendously hard to be here. This is our home tie. We'll obviously play them away in December. So we feel it's a really good opportunity for us to see where we are. And if we come up short tomorrow on a one-off game, I'm not too sure I would be too demanding or changing my view on where I think this team can go. Because I think Barcelona have shown at any time that they can really take teams apart. They were 1-0 down at the weekend and go and score 8 in the second half, scored 10 previously. So we know they've got the ability to do that. But always when I talk about the opposition, I like to quickly switch it to us and what we're capable of doing. And that's going to be the focus.
And I play such long clips of Gareth because he is doing the part of like, you know, instilling the confidence, the like talking your shit. There really aren't that many chances and abilities to do that in women's football, at least. Like, there's not really many chances where they're in front of a mic to be like, hey, this is kind of how we're feeling, heat check, etc. So he, I guess, maybe understands the importance of, you know, being able to stand up for him. The players watching that go, hell yeah. They're like, before a match against Barca, yeah, man, you need him to be talking up you. Like, this is truly the biggest match of your career coming up. And most of them on this team have not really experienced Champions League football. So this really was home field advantage. Yes, it's helpful. It's better to play at home, but that's a lot of pressure. It's sold out crowd, Joy Stadium. It's the second year that it's Joy. Like, yeah, it's a huge
record-breaking crowd, by the way.
Yes, like that. It's a lot, and so I just wanted to like set the stage before we got into this match that it really was momentous. And even on the feed, like I saw some people that had never tweeted about Man City women. They were tweeting about Man City women, and it doesn't really matter when you get here. We're just happy that you're here and you're tweeting. Welcome.
You're here now. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So I guess we should start with the lineup, right? Because can't really go too much further than without that. So in goal we had Yamishita. From left to right in the back had Kirsten Kasparai, Alex Greenwood, Laya Alexandri, Naomi Lazelle getting a start. Midfield, Yui Hasegawa, Jess Park, Viv Miedema, and then front line of Mary Fowler, Lauren Hemp, and Bunny Shaw up top. Now, I saw Naomi Lazelle in the starting lineup, and I was scared because I was like, we're really just going to feed her to Alexia Putellas like that? Like, that's a large assignment. I also know that Layla Wahabi has been traversing through some injury problems of late, so that could have been part of it. And honestly, it would not surprise me if it was a situation where the player and the coach have been like, hey, yeah, we've seen your movies against Alexia, and they might not be the best, and you might not be the right person for the job.
And actually, you triggered another one. It's post-match, but this is Bunny talking about Lazelle.
All week you could tell that she was the nerves was building for this game, but I think for her the performance that she gave tonight was unbelievable. Unfortunately, she picked up a little injury, but hopefully it's not as bad. But yeah, happy for her.
And what she said was she was nervous leading up to, which basically means Gareth earlier, like she knew it was coming. She knew she was starting. It wasn't like the day before, what like Pep normally does. Like the day before, he's like, "This is who's starting." That was in the game plan. Was, hey, Lazelle, you are going to start. There's obviously, like you said, there's something we saw maybe with Wahhabi, she injury / food against Putelis, and we like what you're doing. And obviously, we'll get into the match. But she started off a little rough, but before you knew it, she was cooking.
So the visitors kicked off, and almost immediately you saw 5 players going to press the ball or the line with the ball. And that did not stop for the first 45 minutes. Watching the first 45 minutes of this match was like watching 2018, 2019 Liverpool men, like just true heavy metal football. I'm going to press you until you give me the ball back. And I was honestly like, I was shocked because I didn't think that we had that ability to press that high that much, and keep the ball when we actually got it back. That's, to me, that was the most important part. It was like we were able to win the ball back and then keep it. Just what? First of all, I don't know who talked to Mary Fowler before the beginning of the season. I don't know if it was her country coach. I don't know if it was Gareth. I don't know, but Mary Fowler is a different player than the player that we saw to end the season, because some of the pressing that she was like, she made Rolfo's life hell. And Rolfo wasn't even necessarily getting forward and getting caught out. She was just on, like, if Rolfo would have went and ordered fish and chips from the concession stands at the Joy Stadium, Mary Fowler would have been right there behind her in line. It was like, oh yeah, that's 6 pounds. I got you. Like, that's how close she was to her all match. And you could tell that was part of Barca's plan, was to build up through that side, through their left side, City's right, and Mary's ability to press Rolfo just made that a non-starter. Like, they had to do something completely different that they had game planned for. Now, granted, Rolfo is not a defender. Rolfo is a winger. Like, she just plays at Barcelona, so she has to play at fullback in order to get on the pitch. That stated, like, she did not have a great match. I felt like what was most scary for me, especially in the first 30 minutes of the match, is the amount of chances that we were getting and missing. It was like, because Bunny had a chance, Hempo had a chance, Fowler had a chance. None of them went in. I think Viv even had a chance. Nothing. And you're like, ooh, this is wasteful. Like, if we're gonna be this wasteful, like with the opportunities that we do have, once Barcelona like clicks to life, like, this is not gonna be a fun scene. This is not gonna be a good movie.
For that point, in the first half, 11 shots, only 3 on target, 2 big chances missed. So, like you said, the energy was great, and they were putting themselves in a lot of chances, but just weren't getting there. And we all kind of felt like the shoe was going to drop eventually, because there's no way you can keep that press intensity up. And it's funny because I remember watching the match and I was like, we're doing great. We're holding on possession. We're doing passes together, blah, blah, blah. And I look at the stats. In the first half, we only had 42% possession, and they had 76 more passes than we did, but it did not feel like that. It felt like we were the dominant ones, honestly. And so it's just really crazy that, like, you know, the eye test, how it feels. Like, of course there were airy moments, but overall it was dominant. It was great.
So you have all those you talk about a big chance missed. In the 35th minute, you had Jess Park have a wide open shot, and credit to Catacol, like, gets a hand to the shot, palms it away for a corner. It was like, okay, well, let's see what this corner has for us. So Mary takes the corner, in swinger far post. Viv heads it down, using that height advantage, somehow gets onto the ground. Naomi Lazelle, who is in the tangle of bodies on her backside, literally just pushes her right leg through the ball into the back of the net. Her first ever senior goal at any senior competition, including the 2 years that she was at Bristol last year, or in the year before that. Never had a goal before that. First UCL goal, or UWCL goal, first team goal. And you could tell how important it was for the entirety of the team. Like, Bunny was like at the 6-yard, at the penalty spot, essentially, and like she was celebrating by herself, like, as the ball went in. And then everyone
almost murdered her.
Like, yeah, oh yeah, she was like
headlock,
bear hugged her to death.
I love you so much.
Yes, it was like, okay, I can't breathe. Can't breathe. So 1-0 up on Barcelona. You're feeling good. I remember after they scored the goal, my biggest thing was like, okay, you cannot let them score in the first half. You have to go to the halftime with a lead. Have to go to halftime with a lead. There was like one nervy moment, I think, in like the 40th minute, where they did break loose down our left side. But I think Yamashita covered that up. And we're going to halftime level. Oh, sorry, I forgot about what probably the best defensive play of the match. I'm not really sure what Yamashita was doing, as Carolyn Graham Hansen came to her with the net. But she didn't get the ball. And Carolyn Graham Hansen found a way to maneuver past her. Yamashita kind of threw her body in the way, but in a way that didn't foul her in the box to give away a penalty, which was key. And here comes Laya Alexandri sprinting, like, because I don't think she was even in the box at the time. And she just literally sprinted to the goal line and kicked it away, like a goal line save at the 16th minute.
Man City gene of the, like, last second goal clearance. Kyle Walker, John Stones, like, she is now in elite Manchester company in doing that. It's just like, oh my gosh, I had, like, in that moment I was screaming. I was like standing in the entire second half, which I'm getting ahead of myself, but just this one fact, I stood the entire second half in my house. Like, I sat for like a moment, and then I realized I was sitting, and I stood back up. I was stressed.
The first half, I was actually able to take my lunch during the first half, so I was able to watch most of the first half uninterrupted, which I was very, very grateful for. Second half, was still able to watch the match, which I was shocked that I was still able to do. But shout out to my coworkers for covering for me. So it's still continuing to watch the match, and the second half, the classic Barca kind of turned up at the Joy Stadium, and it was like, okay, well, we know what we need to do, and we're going to do that, and we're going to pull you out so that we can expose the spaces behind you. And we're going to do a lot of quick passing to do that. And to their credit, between Yamashita, Greenwood, Laya Alexandri, and Yui Hasegawa, those four players were rock solid in the second half. There was never a moment where I was like, once they were defending the ball, it's like, oh gosh, like we're about to give up a goal. Oh my gosh, we're about to give up a goal. They were just rock solid in the defense. I think that everyone's biggest, well, maybe that's for the next match, but at this point, you're kind of like, oh gosh, when are we going to see subs? Because Romeu used a sub in the 64th minute, then again in the 73rd minute. So you're thinking like, okay, like we have been pressing for like 60 minutes of this match, and you can tell like we are a bit leggy. Like we probably need to make some subs. No subs were made, and that's okay because in the 76th minute, it was really funny because Naomi Lizelle pops up with the ball. The announcers were talking about her first senior goal, and then she pinged a ball 60 yards. That's what she did. She she pinged a ball 60 yards to an on-running Bunny Shaw, who did not have to break stride, who was able to cut inside her defender. And what I love so much about this shot and this goal is that even though the shot looked really slow, it was the smart play to make it a slow shot because you saw Anya Batye trying to recover and get back. And so the shot was so slow that it made it past Cole, and then Batye was already past the shot. There was no way that she could defend it, and it just rolls into the back of the net. At that point, City's up 2-0. The Joya Stadium is rocking. Everybody online is hype as hell. I'm outside screaming, literally screaming. Like my coworker came outside, was like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, I just wanted to make sure that like nobody like accosted you or anything." Nope, I'm good. I'm good. I promise. So 2-0. We make a couple of subs. Finally, in the 79th minute, Jess Park comes off for Jill Roard. In the 81st minute, Abba Fagino comes on for Mary Fowler. And then we make one last sub for Alana Kennedy coming on for Laya Alexandri in the 89th minute. And fellas, we saw out the match, killed it off. 2-0 win, 3 points in the group. Against
they not like us.
Best opponent in the group.
Us.
Yeah. Most definitely the biggest win in the history of the Manchester City Women Football Club, like without a doubt. And doing something that has never been done before. Like as long as Barcelona has been playing in this competition, they have never been held goalless until last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Like that in and of itself should tell you that everything that I got a game plan, because everything that Gareth wanted in this game plan worked.
And I know I love it, her story, women, but for some reason I've been listening to Glorilla's album this whole weekend, and just the way that she says things, so it just sounds like the way that she would say history, her story. I don't know, just the way. So so when you said her story, my brain just went Glorilla.
I don't know. I just gotta say, I totally did not expect this. Right, like last week, I was thinking best case scenario is a draw. It's Barcelona, like Femini, like they score goals, they run this competition, they do this, and when you just look at their starting 11, right, you just see superstar after superstar after superstar. It's actually insane who they have on the pitch, and for us to hold them scoreless, didn't think was possible. So credit to the players first. Give credit to the players first. They were on the pitch. They did the running. They hustled. They were clinical when they needed to be, right? Getting those 2 finishes in. But I think this is like the greatest stamp on Gareth Taylor possible, because you have literally like 3 years of progress, squad rotation, transfers, right? New coaches, and like everything has been building to this moment. And when you have the season like you had last year in the WSL, right, where you literally losing on the last day off goal differential, right? You messed up before that, but you take Chelsea to the end. You know who you are. You have an identity, and that identity, you don't change who you are. You actually go harder. And like the way he attacked it, like we are not going to sit back and just hope to hit him on the counter. No, we're going to go after it. It's like basketball. Teams that run a full court press hate to be pressed. If you've ever coached basketball, because your players don't play enough against it. So when you do it when the other team does it, you're like, oh my God, like this is chaotic. Like I don't want this. And so credit to Gareth Taylor, man. Like I hope every single Man City woman fan can like with pride say he is the right manager for this club. And we couldn't say that 2 years ago, right? It was understandable. But now your stamp is there. Like there's no controversy. You want trophies this year, but you can't get a trophy without beating a great team. And we already beat one. So credit to GT.
Definitely
I would really
a signature win. Definitely not just for him, but for the club, for the players. If you ever talk about signature win, that was one of them.
Yeah.
So kudos to them.
I would really be interested to see I don't know if Gareth would ever admit this, but to see how Barca Femini has come over to the United States a couple of times to play some friendly matches against some NWSL teams, and there have been some NWSL teams who have used a similar tactic against them and were found success like doing it, but were maybe probably not as talented as this Manchester City Women's Football Club is. So I would be interested to see if he were to ever admit, like, hey, yeah, we watched a lot of them play in NWSL or play NWSL opponents, and we saw what worked for those NWSL opponents, and or even seeing what Lyon did a couple of years ago to them also, and seeing what worked against this squad and using it to the best advantage that he could.
And here's Bunny on her goal that she scored.
You know what? I was gonna take the shot early, but as I lift my head up, I saw the keeper already on the floor. So I said I was gonna take my touch around her and try to slot it, put it back where it was coming from. But I think if I had kicked it a little bit harder, the defender probably would have gotten it. So I just took the touch around the defender, lift my head up, and put it back where the defender was coming from.
When she does that, it reminds me of 2 male players. I think 2 of the most famous players that did it, right? R9, Ronaldo, and Thierry Henry. Like, they were so great at going around the keeper. And, like, you almost like working smarter, not harder, right? Like, I'm going to make this angle in my advantage. And, like, her touch has gotten so much better. Her dribbling has improved so much. And, like, we forget, Bunny's only 27. And, like, this is only year 3 at the club, right? Like, so it's early stages. Like, it's actually scary what she is now and what she's going to be, let's just say, next year, right? With another season under her belt and like all this high level competition. Is it too soon to say best striker in the world? I mean, because here's the thing, Tom, you know more. I will say this. We got some hella great strikers in the NWSL. You got Sam Kerr, who's injured, right? Like, you have strikers around the world, but I'm going to say this. She is solidly top 5 for me. I'm going to say top 5 in the world, and we can have our arguments how you rank them.
I don't have a problem saying that she is the most in form all-around striker in the world right now. I think, I mean, I do get to watch Tim Chawinga play a lot, and while she is a really good attacker, typically most of her goals have actually come like her playing wing. Versus playing centrally, and I think she uses so much pace and like the way that she's able to, because I've seen many times defenders like, oh yeah, I have time to get on this ball that's going back, and then all of a sudden like she's even with the defender and is like, oh, she has a better angle to the ball than I do. Like I have to foul her, or I have to attempt to foul her, or it's going to be a goal. And even the attempts to foul don't even usually work that well. So I would say that right now she is the most in-form, all-round striker in the world right now.
And can I give off some of these defensive stats from a striker from Khadija during this match in Barca? 4 clearances, 4 headed clearances, 7 defensive actions, 4 recoveries, 4 duels won. Like she was out there freaking working her ass. The end of the match, she was winning all of the corners that Barca were having. And like I wanted her off just because you could tell she was exhausted, but we couldn't. Like literally, we could not, because we needed her height, her aerial ability, or else, they probably would have scored and made things terrifying. And you also need that like threat of a goal scoring person to score a goal.
Shout out to Courtney Stith of Diaspora United, who sent me a message and was like, during the match, was like, Tom, why is Bunny playing center back right now? I was like, listen, it's Barca. It's all hands on deck, baby.
Oh, and also I wanted to say, one, I was listening to Counter Pressed, and there's 2 things. One, they mentioned flops. Like obviously we know she's like mega, but like that was locked in there. And then 2, they were like, who are the people who are gonna bring the Manchester City energy out there? And obviously we aren't there in the stadium. We got the supporters group who's doing that. They're bringing the energy. But hey, on the social media, out here, we're out here trying to set the vibes. There are plenty of other people out there trying to set the vibes. But just wanted to let you know, hi, we're Shades of Blue. We're out here. Hopefully we'll get to know you a little bit more in the future. But anything else from this Barca match?
Sharpie, I think that you have said it several times, but I think like seeing it together in the same match, you've said before that Yui Hasegawa makes you not miss Kira Walsh. The way that Yui Hasegawa erased the reigning Ballon d'Or winner in Aitana Bonmati, and the way that Kira Walsh kept chasing Jess Park's shadow and couldn't really find it, told me all I needed to know about the 2 players. I was like, yeah, this was actually the right move. Like this like it might in the moment it might have seemed terrible, but right now, yeah, this was absolutely the correct move for this club, to put this player in as defensive midfielder, because she can eliminate your best attacking midfielder, which is exactly what she did, without fouling her.
I just want to say, like, when your manager can be a great talent evaluator, that's huge, right? Because my biggest gripe against on the men's side for Man United is that man chose Anthony when he had Kudus on his team. Like that's always my biggest gripe. Like, no, I can't trust you because you literally managed both of these players and said, nope, give me that one over the one who's clearly better. Whereas like Garrett Taylor was like, no. You can go. We're gonna get the money. We'll take that money. And I know the player in this league who is gonna be better than you. Maybe it wasn't in that moment, right? She was playing at a weaker side, did not have the talent around her. But he saw all this. Yeah, wasn't playing position. But he saw all the capabilities, and he's looking beyond the stats, because if you look at her height, she shouldn't be playing a 6. Like, she should not be a 6 with the people she has to go against and the space she has to cover. Like, Yu Asagawa is a savant on the football pitch. Like, she is incredible. Shouts to her and her skill. Shouts to the Japanese national team. I really love Japan. Y'all are great. Thank you for all your wonderful players. It's amazing. I know we're on this match forever, so I'm gonna stop talking. We got to get to another match. We got things to talk about, but this is amazing.
Hey, and while we're talking about Yui, let's talk about Yui, what she did in the defensive actions. 2 out of 3 ground duels, 13 recoveries, 8 defensive actions, 4 interceptions, a block, and a clearance. Like, she was everywhere, and we definitely saw them play their hearts out, and that affected them in Liverpool. This is my transition to the match at Anfield, and that we'll get to the lineup and everything, but that was just like the biggest thing that you could just tell where they were just tired. There were multiple moments where I saw Mary Fowler, I saw Yui, I saw Bunny, I saw most of them like a ball wouldn't go the right way, and then they would have to make like a little run, and they did the whole like like the I'm annoyed I have to make this run, but they make the run, but not before they went, oh my god, I have to make this run. And you could just everything seemed delayed. It was just like a 1, sometimes 2-3 second delay between they would like look up, see the person, and then make the pass, and that was pretty frustrating overall in the match.
I would agree. Yeah. This Liverpool match, I think I was most scared because you don't want to let the previous opponent get a result against you twice. So even like or in the the next match, so I was concerned that we would be so leggy and we had so little squad rotation from the midweek match to the Saturday match. It was like, oh god, like this is not going to go great for us. Like so starting lineup, Yamishita in goal. We had left to right, Layla Wahhabi, Alex Greenwood, Laya Alessandri, Kirsten Kasparai. Midfield of Yui Hasegawa, Jess Park, Jill Roord got the start. And then up top, you had Bunny Shaw, Lauren Hemp, and Mary Fowler. So coming into this match, you could tell that it was going to be a big match for Liverpool. They were playing this at Anfield. I didn't know this, but they had never scored a goal at Anfield before. They had played at Anfield, but never scored there. So you were hoping that we could keep that tradition going. And even in the first 45 minutes, it kind of looked like that. Like it definitely seemed as though we had the we definitely had the advantage in possession. You could tell that they just really wanted to hit us on the counter. Again, like we were not being clinical at all. I think in the first half we had 3 total shots and none of them were on goal. So that there, even though we had all of the possession, we weren't doing anything with it. Now I will say that my little matchup that I was watching within the game was Alex Greenwood marking Olivia Smith.
Yes.
Ooh, that was one of those.
She's a baller.
That was one of those rookie meets vets situations. And don't get me wrong, Olivia Smith is a good footballer. She's going to be she's the youngest Canadian ever to play for the Canadian international or women's national team. She's going to be very, very good. Alex Greenwood had her in hell. Like she was just kind of giving it to her, just like, nope, no. You like there were a couple of times she kind of like made a step around her, made a step through her. And you could definitely tell that Olivia Smith was definitely feeling that. And like I think once she got I think it was like in the 30th minute that she got injured the first time. And shout out to the 2 assistant coaches as Matt Beard was ill for this particular match. So he had his 2 top lieutenants managing that particular match. They decided that they were in their 3-5-2 setup, they were going to move Olivia Smith to the other side and then play Sophie Roman Hogg against Alex Greenwood, which was probably the better move. That was probably the best in-game tactical move of the match, honestly, because it freed up Olivia Smith in a way that, and you saw it in the goal that they scored. ball pops up in the air, miscommunication between Laya Alessandri and Kirsten Kasparai, and all of a sudden Olivia Smith like takes the ball down, scurries away from them, and then puts a shot down to Yamashita's right.
Yeah.
That if I see another goal like that, I will say it, but I'll let this one slide.
Oh, no. Yes. So actually, what I will say about that goal, one, obviously, it's a great goal on her, but I feel like it's a goal that only a young, hungry person is going to score because, first off, she literally ran between Kasparai's and Alexandri, like in between them. Like the ball, they were waiting for the ball to come down, and she just went, nope, ran between them. The ball bounced nicely for her. And then she just looked up, saw that Yamashita was like, I don't know what she was doing. She was just lost and panicking, honestly, you could tell. And she took advantage of it and made a wonderful shot that scored. But just the running through the players, like my first thought was like, that was dangerous. Like my old ass, I was like, whoa, she just ran through them and just shot it. And it was like, that's only something that somebody was like, I don't care, I am gonna score, I'm injured, like I need to make my presence in this match known. And like she snatched that moment. We were all very impressed by Olivia Smith in the match, and like all of Twitter was like a buzz about her. And so for her to get that moment, and you saw it, she was overcome with emotion. She was laying on the ground, hurting, and scoring in her mind at the moment, the game-winning goal. It brought them ahead, and so like good on her. It was beautiful to see. But I really was worried about her at that moment because she was getting her tail whooped, and you can definitely tell that she was hurting physically. So when she just laid there crying, I was like, okay, get up eventually. And then people were trying to like pick her up, and she wasn't getting up, and that's when I got
nope. Yeah. That's when it kind of got scary, and they did end up making a change for her at halftime. With City down 1-0 at halftime at Anfield, not feeling great, looking super duper leggy. And it was like, well, what are we about to do here? Like, come on, we got to do something. Come out first 15 minutes of the match or the second half. More of the same, more possession, a few like chances that seem to be squandered. And then in the 58th minute, Bunny Shaw gets her first goal of the match on just a simple little dink header, send it back to where it came from. And again, like it seemed like it was going in slow motion. Like just like how do you get as much power as you do on a head like that you have to have on a header? And Rachel Laws was not ready for it at all. As a matter of fact, like I thought that Rachel Laws knocked herself out trying to get across.
Yeah, she did.
Because like she ran into like her face planted into the post. Like
they didn't have a backup. So that's really why she stayed in the match, was because they would need an outfield player to just fill in, and they had someone warming up, so they had
shout out to Liverpool's kit management team who knew who the outfield player was going to be. They had a goalkeeper kit for her. They had gloves for her. They had shorts for her. You can tell that this Liverpool kit person does not work for Arsenal. I think that was very important.
I just gotta say something real quick. This for me now is the new version of typical City, where you give up a worldie. Not give up a worldie is you can see their worldie, right? Like it happens. Somebody goes out of their brains, hit a crazy goal, historic goal, and then like, okay, let's stop playing around. Like this is like once I saw Bunny score the first goal, I was like, okay, this is what we do. We're gonna give you one. Like, you might get one. This is male or female. You get one. We're gonna figure out a way to win this match. And I think, like you said, like getting over the legginess from Barca midweek, I wouldn't even put it to that. I would say like Liverpool played really well. Like they made it super hard for. It wasn't like City was peppering the goal and like they just couldn't get it. Like it was hard to get down into the final third with any like fluidity. And so yeah, we needed that early goal from Money. She always comes through. And now you're just thinking like, okay, we got 30 plus minutes. Can we get one more goal? And Tom, I'll let you take it from here because, bro, I ain't know.
So first of all, I think like you're like, yes, we need one plus goal. Like, and I felt like we, even though Liverpool did play a good match, I felt like we did look tired. Like, and you're just like, okay, time for a fresh set of legs out on the pitch. Like, okay, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're
anyone.
So
like, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to ask the question because I wasn't able to watch the match. I only saw pieces of it, like the highlights or whatever. But why do you think we didn't make subs or even maybe more of a rotated squad from the beginning, having played so recently?
Oh, because this squad that we're about to see on Wednesday, like Rico's sister might start in this match. Like, and like that's like no shade to Sacha, but she might very well may start. And I have a feeling that it was one of those like, okay, if I have to make a change, I'll make that man. Like, you remember when it was still the 3 sub rule and like Pep make a sub, Pep make a sub, Pep make a sub.
For sure, don't remind me. It's scary. It's
That's what this match felt like, and it was at Anfield too. It was like, come on, bro, do something. And the fact that like the player that he subbed off was Fowler instead of Hemp, like Hemp looked gassed, like absolutely
physically dying.
Yes, like it was like, oh my god, I cannot make another 70-yard run. I can't do it. Don't ask me to do it. I'm gonna make this other 70-yard run.
We'll do it anyway.
Yes.
And I do want to. I know. After we're done with this, we got to talk about CK though, because like, what the fuck is going on with that?
Yeah, for sure. So they announced stoppage time, and part of me was like, okay, in order for us to win this match, they're gonna have to announce a NWSL level of stoppage time for us to find a winner. And anyone who's been following the NWSL this season knows that stoppage times have been absolutely ridiculous, like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15. Like I've been in a press box where it's been 15 minutes and it's like, what? Y'all gonna make them play an hour of football after halftime? This is ridiculous. So I was like, okay, well, as long as we have that amount of time, we should be good to score this goal. And maybe we just needed a regular amount of stoppage time because Lai Alexandri, she again pings the ball 60 yards to Bunny Shaw, and I don't think I've ever seen this. Like, yeah, like Bunny Shaw had that "get off me," like, not that she like necessarily stiff armed Fahey, but like just get off me, and like Fahey was like grabbing onto her arm, and then I think like once Bunny got into the box with the ball, she was like, okay, this is like I'm not gonna get her completely off of me. And this is not going to affect the way I take the shot because I can still use my other arm to balance to take this shot. So she uses her other arm as balance, uses her arm that's being pulled by Fahey to balance and kicks the ball into the back of the net. 2-1 City. I'm going crazy. I was at Boothang's house this weekend and they were like, wait, is this about to happen? Like, he's like, you see, because like you seem really down. It's like, yeah, like we're probably gonna draw this match after we had the best result ever. And then like he's like, are you sure about that? um, so 2-1, City takes the lead. We're able to see out the rest of the match. With this result, based off of other results and Chelsea being a match behind, Man City go to top of the table on let's see, 10 points. Yes, 10 points. Chelsea behind with 9 after their victory on the weekend. So this was just Flops and I had a conversation online about it. It was like, yeah, I could see like we're just hungover, like not necessarily like physically hungover, but like a little bit like, oh man, like we celebrated a little too hard, or like we didn't put our full focus into Liverpool, and Liverpool like was able to get points off of it. So like this truly was a heart of a champion type of match because you knew you had to have it, especially seeing what Chelsea did on the weekend, and you have to keep pace with them. And they made it a point that that's the team that you're gonna have to keep pace with in the WSL.
And just thinking about like Money's week, right? Like having the goal against Barca, going to Anfield, scoring her brace to win it. Like her stature is so important. And this is where like a player, for example, let's think about another former City legend. Sergio Aguero could never do certain things because he was of a certain size, right? Like, and there's a phrase in life that size matters, and whatever, however you want to take that. But on the football pitch, size matters, man. It helps to be bigger. When you are big and strong, you can do a lot of things. And you add in the skill set to have the touch, the dexterity, the balance, like all those other factors that come into it. But when you're bigger than everybody else, it really, really helps. Look at Erling Haaland. If Erling Haaland was 6 foot trying to do some of the things he does, it won't be the same. But he's 6'4", and you can do that. And Bunny being who she is, man, like I'm in awe. Like I truly am in awe of how she raised her level from last year, setting the WSL record and taking City to new heights. Like she's one of one, man. And I think this is the year where I'm like, okay, like we can go toe to toe with Chelsea. We did it last year. I thought it was kind of fluky, I ain't gonna lie. But this year, like when we go see them, I'm not like gonna pick against us. Like, no, we're gonna take down Chelsea. Like, I don't know if we're gonna catch them for the whole year, but we can beat them one match, a one-off.
We were talking on the 12, and they were asking me like, because Deep D and Treb are Arsenal fans, Mark is a Chelsea fan, and they were asking me, is like, as a City fan, who do you really want to win this match? And I was like, it doesn't really matter to me, honestly, because like if it is Chelsea that wins the match, like I know like we took 4 points off of Chelsea last year, and it probably should have been 6 had Emily Byrne not lost her damn mind. So like the fact that we had these 4 points from them, and then yes, we did lose both matches in the league to Arsenal, but like we also know why we lost those matches. Like we were not aggressive enough in those matches, and we weren't clinical enough in those matches. And in the last one, we didn't have Bunny. So like we were just talking about how important Bunny is to the squad. Like we didn't have her, and it was noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, y'all have said everything I've been thinking. I'm just.
Did you want to get into the CK part before we look ahead to the week?
Yes. So I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm gonna be fake. I wanted to have this conversation yesterday, but whatever article it is that came out apparently about CK and Gareth, I ain't read that shit because again, I don't. Those aren't the articles that I like to read because it's like it's hearsay. You don't really know how much to believe it, et cetera, et cetera. Because I mean, you can kind of see it. You can see that she's getting the starts. Yes, she's getting the playing time. Sure, but it's all like Julian Alvarez types of starts and playing time. It's not the
it's not even that. Like it's not even Julio Alvarez. It's like
It's like Mary Fowler
it's
last year. It's like Fowler
like
started last year.
yeah, or like Nunez starts. Like
That yeah.
like that's really what it is. Like like I mean, she played like a woman possessed when we played the reverse fixture against Paris FC at home. Like obviously player of the match. And then you just like, nope, got two other wingers. I'm gonna start over you. Sorry, just don't know what to tell you. And I don't know if this is an attitude thing. I don't know if this is one of those, oh yeah, same thing that we were talking about with the midfield players that left 2 seasons ago. I don't know, but she is deep in his doghouse, like
No, she's
deep in
not.
his doghouse.
My theory is about age. Like CK is pushing 27. You look at Fowler's 21. Fujino's 24 or 20. No, 20. I think she's young too. Yeah, 20. And then Hemp is 24. So like when you have these two players looking at Fujino and Fowler, which are playing in that position where she normally was on the right, you have a manager who's now molded Mary Fowler into what he wants that position to be. Like CK was already developed when Gareth got there, right? And now you're trying to do that. So it's almost like on this other side where Pep is like, oh, give me Savio, give me Daku, and watch what I can do. Look at what I did with Sterling and Sane, right? Like when you could take young talent and truly mold it into a better version and like a more complete player, you're always going to take that as a manager, I think, over the player that is more developed and, like I've mentioned before, will get on the pitch and not do. You could tell she's not doing what the manager wants.
Yes.
Like those balls in, like you could just see it, right? And then lastly, add in the hustle, add in the defensive effort, right? Mary Fowler's a dog out there. Fujino may not be clinical yet, but she's gonna run her ass off for you. And it's just something missing. Lauren Hemp on the other side, she's always the dog, right? So Gareth has laid down a marker. It's not about what you've done, it's about what you're doing. And I love that out of a manager because it's not just your name. It's not just, oh, you play for England. No, that's cool. But in this club, if people are playing better than you, you got to keep your spot. And that right there is like the greatest sign of like a team where you're not just based on like what your CV, as they say over there. No, it's about what are you actually performing? What am I seeing in training? What have I know you to be capable of at this moment? And it's working. Like, I don't know if we get the same defensive performance if Chloe Kelly's on the pitch instead of Mary Fowler against Barca.
Yeah.
I think Gareth had a feeling that Mary Fowler would defend better. So he put on the pitch and she ran her ass off. So you don't ever want to see players fall out of favor, but that's the life, right? This is bigger than one player. It's about the club, it's about success. And if the rumors are true and there's a winter transfer, hey, give the bag and go be happy. But like I love the fact that there has been a line drawn and he hasn't doubled back because of pressure or questions, and winning covers all of that. If we weren't winning, yeah, you have to make a change. But we just beat Barca. So you can do whatever the hell you want, Gareth Taylor.
I will really be interested to see if Serena Wigman calls her in for this October international break, because I don't know how you can call her in with the lack of playing time that she's gotten.
That's scary. I didn't even think about that. And if that happens, the winter transfer becomes a more real thing to me, because you would just think off of her success with the team and everything that she would get the call up. She's getting some playing time with the team, but she's Chloe Kelly. And I mean, I was waiting for Sharpie to like finish his thing so then I could be like, yeah, but he literally nailed every single thing that I was going to say about Mary Fowler and why she is taking over. And when I was talking about the preseason earlier this season, that's what I said. I was just like, I think it's Mary Fowler's position, not to mention her ability to use her left and her right. Like she can cook with each in just the passes. She does the distribution that Chloe Kelly does, but also she has no problem trying to score for herself. And like you said, she's just a dog on the pitch, just up and
Mary
down.
Fowler's a beast.
Yeah, she like, and it was a lot of energy last year, yes, but she was a little afraid of the physical part, like the clashing in the bodies, and that fear is gone. So now she is just out there taking bodies, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It is very interesting to think. DT3 gave me pushback because I rightfully so. I said that Chloe Kelly, because of the fact that, like I said, what she's done for the team, for the national team, and the success that she's been a part of with Man City. She was the biggest, brightest star at one point in time when we started the podcast. It was Chloe Kelly. And over the few years, it has not. We've gotten bigger stars, and our stars that are just as bright we're expecting them to become even brighter. And that's very tough. It's, do you want to do that grind when you're Chloe Kelly? It's a mixture of a lot of experiences. And obviously we always like it into the men's game because I said it's Alvarez, but it really reminds me of Sterling. And it's like, yo, I've been a great servant to this club. I have helped you guys do so much. And now you guys get a couple of new people and like, it's just like, fuck me. Like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And that's really what it feels like with her. And it's unfortunate, but it's also like, hey, if you want to play, you know what you need to do, both sides of the ball. And that was the same thing with Sterling. Hey, if you want to play, you got to care about defense a little bit, my boy. So it's like, it is what it is. We seem to know the line in the sand has been drawn. Yeah.
I would be interested to see what kind of clubs would pursue her in the winter transfer window. Because she did just sign a contract extension last season, right?
Soccer Donna. Oh no, they just said that she would be interested. They didn't post her to anyone, did they?
I think a different league
would PSG or something.
I think a different league would do her good.
Yes.
PSG desperately needs some wingers, especially since Diani went down to Lyon.
Yeah, that's what I read.
I think she would. I think actually with her style of play, like she would probably do pretty well in NWSL. So if she wanted to jump across the pond, I wouldn't hate it, not love it, but I wouldn't hate it because I would still get the advantage of seeing you play like once a year in person.
Does the Red Stars need a winger? That'd be great. She would.
No, they can't get any of our players. No. Until they.
I really want to like the Chicago Red Stars, my guy. So we got to give them something.
Until they keep Bunny's name out of their mouth.
That's what I'm saying, but then they can shut up about Bunny if they get.
Yeah, I don't want them to take Bunny, but if we're gonna get rid or allow her to leave, that might be helpful for me because I want to be a Red Stars fan
in 3 years. That's fine.
I think her contract's about to be over.
Who? Chloe Kelly?
Chloe Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it ends this season.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
We were melding Bunny at the end.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was like, no, but I mean, if you could, this is where you got to be smart. If you know a player's not playing, they're unhappy, get something for them in the January window, in the winter window, versus just letting a contract run out and they leave on a free. Like, this is business, right? That player gets a head start with the new club. We get some bread. We know in the rotation who's set. We got some other young guns on the bench. Like, that's not a position where I feel like, you don't want anybody to get hurt, right? But if we had an injury, like, we have different ways to figure it out. Mm-hmm. But so I think, sadly, she's expendable.
Yeah.
Like, Chloe Kelly's not making a difference for me.
Yeah.
Get $500,000 for her and keep moving, bro.
Yeah,
it's wild. What
a lot of money for a female transfer fee though. 500, ain't it?
Yeah, that's not a crazy number. It might be, maybe it's like 2 because short 12-month deal, like she's about to be out anyway. You get something 100, 50, whatever. Just get something and say goodbye. So that way, it's not even like drama in the latter half of the season.
I'll say how much would she be worth from a security blanket kind of a sense? We keep her around knowing she's going to leave on a free, but we know that in this season where we've got UWCL, we also have our normal WSL matches. Having that option, and I guess if the concern is, hey, she might become a disruptive force, then okay, you get rid of her. But is there a world where it makes sense to just keep her just in case?
I think I gotta go with Charlie when he was talking about the age thing. Like, I think Hemp is she's gonna see the majority of those starts at the left wing, but uh Lily Murphy's gonna come in and like give her a rest in those minutes that she needs a rest. And I think you've already seen what the right wing is like. It's Fowler than Fugino. And even though he did try and start Fugino over Fowler, and Fugino just literally, or Fowler literally just took that spot. It's like, no, this is mine. So I don't necessarily think that I have a feeling that the downside could be worse than the upside could be better. Like to me, like the risk is just like of keeping her in the squad is just very large.
One more point about the number. Last year, I looked it up in the winter transfer window. Jessie Fleming left Chelsea to Portland Thorns for $250,000. And so, Tom, I don't believe at that point she was playing a lot for Chelsea, right? At that point,
no, she wasn't.
So, so I'm like, that name. I remember last year. She ain't played it much. So I feel like 250. If you can get that, you take it. We move.
I'll just working to my Chloe Kelly to NWSL agenda.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Let's get to the men. We can get out of here. They got a match at Wolverhampton. I mean, if we're going to be honest, it is Wolverhampton. They are a relegation squad, 1 point this season, no wins, 1 draw, and 6 losses. Negative 12 goal differential.
Seeding 21. Oh my God.
Yes. This is scary. Southampton, they've allowed 15. Everton have allowed 15. Like, what are we doing? This is not a problem.
Mateus
Nunes start? Anybody? No.
Yes, actually, yes. I think that this is right. I think that this is a match where
try it again this year.
Yes, you do, and you're like, okay, like you know what they're going to be hitting for, and you have a better understanding of what we're asking you to do, because I could see a situation in which you go ahead and sit Gundo, you let Noon start, you let Phil start next to him, and then you have Grealish on the left wing, Daku on the right, and then you kind of go from there. I liked what I saw from Matthias Nunes in against the Bratislava match. I thought that was the closest thing to having a true 8 on the field that we've had in a very long time. And there's nothing wrong with not having an 8 on the pitch. I mean, obviously Pep does it all the time and makes it work. But there's something comforting about having an 8 on the pitch. And I think that this could be the match where we see him do that. And I think he would be much better set up for success in this match to start than he would have been in last season's match at the Molineux.
Man, we're gonna stomp these boys. I got City. This is cut to the chase. Like, if we score less than 3, I'll be disappointed. Like, now I will say I think everybody's healthy offensively coming off the break. We know Kevin didn't go to national team. Gundo retired from international duty. I haven't heard or read anything about the Portuguese contingent getting hurt. I don't think Savio's like. I think everybody's good, right? We know Jack Grealish had a good match for England. So yeah, I got City winning like 3-0. I'm gonna say this is the clean sheet day. Like, I don't know who Wolves got, but it ain't good enough. 3-0 City.
Wolves has one Sir Tommy Doyle, who hasn't been playing as much. They also have a Carlos Forbes or Carlos Borges, both coming out of the City Academy. But that being said, I was going to go 3-0, but I just genuinely do not trust our ability to keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to go 4-1 instead.
Well, I see what you did there, and I like it.
Yeah, we're going to win by 3, but I can't make any promises about a clean
We're
sheet.
doing the thing. Yes. Yes. This is what years of work pays off to, guys. Yes. I love it here.
I'm gonna go 5-1. I could see a situation in which they score first, and then we score 5 unanswered goals.
Typical City, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
So-
we're awake now.
Charlie went 3, I went 4, Tom went 5. You know what that sets you up for, Crunk? Don't disappoint us, Crunk. Come on, man.
You know the fucking vibes. We're gonna run it up at home. I was just checking their injuries to see who would be playing, and naturally, I'm saying it. Free Pep, the Korean guy, he's not playing, so he's injured.
Oh God. Forgot about that. Oh, Jesus.
And he is like their biggest threat.
Meadows and Chelsea. We played Traore.
Like,
They hit have gone, man.
And
Got Nunez.
like they have a few pretty big injuries to some key players that are still injured or just have gotten injured. It's tough out there for them.
Do we see Kev, or do we like let him rest more because we're playing the 20th ranked
said
side?
he should be back. So I would like to believe he starts and maybe he's off. If it's even that light halftime, 55
Yeah, I
minutes.
hope he's a late sub, kind of like Joe Ward. I hope he's a late sub and then starts Champions League. I think that would be great because we go Wolves, Sparta, and then Southampton. Oh, this is a beautiful week.
That's
I love
vibes. What are we doing? Oh,
Listen,
Our next couple matches aren't that impressive.
We better score 10 goals this week and then beat Spurs in the EFL Cup. Let's go.
10,
Let's go, baby.
10 seems low. 10 seems low.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's the minimum, like 3.3 goals a game, like a match.
Chuck, reread those 3 games again.
All right, so we're at Wolves.
Uh-huh.
We're home against Sparta Prague on Wednesday, Champions League, and then we're home against Southampton on Saturday.
Fucking vibes.
Oh no, hold on, no. Oh yeah, this is because it's next week. It's really next week. Sorry, yeah. So starting with Sunday, yeah. So that's a great week, and then the 30th, that midweek is Tottenham EFL Cup. So yeah, I'm here for it, man. Let's get the goals running. Let's run it up.
We'll give them 6-1. That's fine.
I like it. So win by 3, win by 3, win by 4, right? And then win by 5. Okay.
Let's go.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's get out of here, show bros. Let's start with you, Sharpie Charlie. Let people know where they can find you and follow you.
All the things. On Twitter, X at Sharpie Charlie. Election day is 21 days away when you hear this on Tuesday, October 15th. So make sure you're registered to vote.
I made my election sure today. I went down, did my early voting, me and the wife. So my vote is cast. I'm depending on everyone else to go and cast theirs as well, so that we can all be ready to celebrate come November the 6th. That being said, you can find me on Twitter or on Threads at Tarek Peterson, TarikPeterson, at Tarek Peterson on Twitter or Threads.
Shout out to my job. I didn't realize this, but like none of the doctors are taking patients on election day before 10 o'clock. So like giving everybody that time to vote, which I kind of love. So appreciate that about my job. First of all, before I get out of here, I have to shout out the all-time the single season NWSL goal scoring record holder Timwa Chawinga for breaking Sam Kerr's record last Saturday against Bay FC. That was amazing, and it was made sense that it happened against by her just pressing the hell out of a defender and said, "Give me the ball," and basically that's what happened. You also shout out to all of my Arsenal friends and all of my Chelsea friends, because after hearing from both of them in that match, you would have thought both of them dropped points. like all of my Arsenal folks was like, "I want him out of our club." All the Chelsea folks was like, "We don't have to play like Sonia Bonpastor. You don't have to be the female Diego Simeone. Like you don't have to play like this. We don't have to live like this." And if you would like to hear more banter about WSL, you can catch me and Deepti and Treb and Mark on the 12. You can find us on social media at the 12 WSL. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
And follow the podcast at
we definitely went
NW. Oh, sorry, no, I'm talking about the network. I'll just do my part. Tarek, you went, yeah? Cool. All right. And you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.
Again, City. They don't like them.